Friends, last Sunday, when a young man tumbled down the 50-foot drop on Tiana's Bayou adventure, it made me ponder something that I had never really thought about before. Why don't any of Disneyland's boat rides have lap bars?
Here is a timeline of events to better understand exactly what happened and, more importantly, how Disney responded. At 6 p.m., the incident occurs on Tiana's Bayou adventure. Immediately after the guest falls down the hill, the cast member stops the attraction. The 13-year-old continues along part of the attraction path before being assisted by cast members. Around 6:40, guests report seeing security personnel and possible medics near the ride exit while the ride was still operating for guests that had already started their ride. The ride then closes that evening. The next day, June 22nd, Cal OSHA inspects ride in the morning. The attraction passed its test and reopens. On June 23rd, TMZ publishes the initial report in the morning. Later that day, TMZ publishes the video showing the descent down the final drop. By that afternoon, it's spreading like wildfire. Everyone you know has sent you the story. But importantly, Cal OSHA reports no operational issues with Tiana's Bayou adventure.
Now, this isn't the first time somebody's got out of Tiana's Bayou adventure, or formerly Splash Mountain, and it's not the first time a guest has gotten out of a Disney boat ride. In fact, over the last decade plus, it's happened a handful of times.
On March 6, 2025, at the Magic Kingdom, Tiana's Bayou adventure had an adult man and his child exit the log to walk around and look at the displays. No one was injured, and it delayed the attraction for 40 minutes. November 26, 2023, at Disneyland, a man exits It's a Small World, removes all of his clothing, and wanders through the attraction nude. The man was arrested, but not injured. May 29, 2023, at Disneyland, Splash Mountain had a guest exit a moving log during an apparent panic attack and walked along the restricted pathway. No injury reported, and there have been various other incidents where boats have stopped, flooded, and guests have allowed themselves to get out of Splash Mountain, both at the Magic Kingdom and at Disneyland. However, October 30th, 2013, at Disneyland Paris on Pirates of the Caribbean, a young boy lost his balance near the end of the boat ride, fell out, and became trapped between the platform and the boat. This did create serious injuries. The child was hospitalized and placed in critical condition. He did survive. However, another guest wouldn't be so lucky. On November 5th, the year 2000. At Magic Kingdom Splash Mountain, a man climbed out of a boat after saying he felt sick. He was struck by another boat. This would be a fatal injury.
And Disney is not messing around whatsoever with the safety of Tiana's. I saw a boat full of kids, or log full of kids, that were getting up out of their seat, splashing each other, horsing around. Disney gave them one warning. They did it a second time, and then they stopped the ride. The kids were at the very end threshold where the safety exit is that would bring you over to Fowler's Harbor, and they locked up the whole ride. Cast members came down politely, very politely, escorted the kids off of the log, and informed their chaperone and 2 logs behind them they would be able to meet those kids at the exit of the attraction, and that security would be escorting them out of the park. Disneyland taking every precaution and really making sure this attraction runs the way that it's supposed to after what happened. So ironically, in the middle of making this video, I caught that moment when I was trying to shoot my B-roll. Wild. So to varying degrees, this is a thing that has happened. But when you do the math, when you think about the millions of people that have rode the attractions, the relatively small handful of people that got out shows that overall, it's a pretty safe system. But it got me wondering still about the why no lap bar. There has to be a reason. So I think that there could be multiple reasons why this isn't a thing. Let's explore these and see if we can solve this mystery together. Every ride where guests ride on tracks, a lap bar is required. The thing that would make a boat ride different is an immediate evacuation. Any sort of restraint could be a matter of life and death, because even the smallest amount of water can make any situation instantly dangerous. You can already see how the water plus restraint doesn't equal a good outcome in some very extreme in seldom instances. And then it would end up being one of those weird moments where the thing that's supposed to make things safe for you are in fact making things way more dangerous. I want to thank today's sponsor, ZocDoc. Finding a doctor is one of those things that's way harder than what it should be. You finally decide to make an appointment, then you have to figure out who's in network and whether or not they can see you anytime soon. That's why I have really enjoyed using ZocDoc, because when I partially ripped off my toenail, need a little help to go the whole way, I found an appointment the same day. ZocDoc lets you search and compare local in-network doctors, read reviews from real patients, see detailed profiles, and most importantly, see actual appointment openings so you can instantly book online. That's what I did. Found a toe doctor blocks from my house. Oh, but Brickey, that sounds so expensive. It's absolutely free. I didn't pay a dime. So friend, if you've been putting off making an appointment, I really encourage you to click the link in my description below and take that first step. Taking care of your health just got easier. Head to my link in my description and check that appointment off your to-do list. And then there's just the overall flow of a boat, because when guests are loading and unloading, I know these boats are locked into position. They don't want the water to sort of interfere with how guests get on them. And there's a reason why Disney does that. I think kind of the wildest example of the boat that you get on where there's a little bit of finesse on getting on and off is the storybook canal boats, because that boat feels very free floating. When they say 3, 2, 1, everybody get up at the same time, I might have a couple of times, I think, been the overweight guest that made the boat go the wrong way for little ones. And then one of my favorite theories is that, a lot of these attractions come from when, we'll just say that rules were fast and loose. But I don't think Disney would let a grandfathered in safety restriction kind of get in the way of overall guest safety. I mean, it is a #1 priority here, which even more so got me wondering, how do they figure out these attractions can abide by a different set of rules than 90% of all the other attractions? And now something else to note, and I don't think that this would be the sole purpose of it, but one of the things that Disney loves about boat attractions and why one is coming to DCA across the Esplanade is that boat attractions allow a large amount of guests per vehicle, and typically they load pretty fast. You can get people in and out. When we look at these, they're maybe second to the Omnimovers, think Haunted Mansion, the type of constant movement ride. When you look at its next door neighbor, Pirates can circulate a huge amount of guests inside of an hour. If all those guests had to get secured with a lap bar or an individual seatbelt, that would only further complicate the load process. Now, I don't think they're going to put efficiency over safety, but definitely one of the reasons or incentives for making the boat ride is just how fast they can rip them in and out of the load-unload zone. And as I did some digging around, I realized that attractions that both go through the water but ride on a track often do qualify for some sort of guest restraint, which makes me think that the idea is if an attraction is tethered to a track, that has to limit the availability for the attraction to capsize. Because if any of these boats were to flip, and the chance of that happening is slim, but there is still a chance, if any boat were to flip while you were restrained in, that could be tragic, and tragic quickly. I mean, that's the danger of floating across the high seas of It's a Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, or Tiana's.
Safety expert Brian Avery, quoted by the Los Angeles Times, said the lack of harnesses is typical because of the risk of boats overturning in water and trapping guests. Avery also said the incident could spur a reconsideration for safety measures, including additional monitoring at the top of the lift hill.
Because if we've learned one thing on this channel, Disneyland exists in patterns. And the fact that all of the boat rides are missing this component made me want to dig deeper, especially after I had realized that, there has been a guest that's died on one of these attractions before. Hey friends, do me a quick favor and hit subscribe if you don't mind. Would sincerely appreciate you going on the journey with me. There's so many more stories to tell.
As of time of production, Disneyland has not announced any changes to restraints or boarding procedures following the incident, and the ride has been continuing its standard operations after reopening. However, June 28, 2024, Tiana's Bayou Adventure the Magic Kingdom has started utilizing lap bars. So if they were to find their way to Disneyland, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen this ride increase its safety precautions.
But like many of you, when I first heard this news, the next thing that passed my mind was if they made this restriction applicable to, say, Tiana's, would it also then circulate over to the other boat rides? Or would Tiana's be in a different situation because it's a boat thrill ride? Like, people have gotten out of Small World. Worst thing that happened is everybody saw a naked dude go by. This could have been much worse last week. And if you are a little one, that young lady is not happy about what just happened to her makeup. But if you are a young one on the canoes, do have to wear a life jacket. Adults don't have to. But I have heard an adult request one before because they're like, I can't swim. And one of the things that I love about Disneyland operationally is it exists in sort of this dilemma of always trying to find the proper balance. You know, where guest safety and ride capacity clash, because there definitely is an intersection where those two thoughts have to bump into one another. It's always about, like, what can we do to make our guests safe, but how can we do it in a way that doesn't completely slow down the park? Because this park has such high demands, efficiency has got to be the second thought right after safety. And you can't talk about safety without getting into accessibility. Now, I'm no expert on it. I'm blessed to not have to deal with that type of thing, and I let other channels cover that for people that actually live the ADA lifestyle and know all the struggles. I have a couple of friends that are in that category. I'm always amazed at how they get around the park and how their experience is so different than ours. But when we look at Disney putting together the DNA of an attraction, accessibility, especially in 2026 in the state of California, that is a major, major problem that they have to always come up with a guest-first solution for. And I think stories like this are the wild ones where people that you didn't even know cared about Disneyland send you a link and go, hey, did you see what happened? And of course, you already knew that it did, but it just goes to show how something like this goes well beyond the berm, goes well beyond the citizens of Disneyland and captures the community's attention. And when that happens, you have to wonder, to somebody who's not really aware of Disneyland in the administrative, legal aspect, think, oh, there's a time for a change, even though the odds clearly point out that dropping down the hill is a pretty safe thing to do. Done it several times myself, would not hesitate to do it again unless I have all my camera equipment, and then it is an absolute big no. So I'm not sure that what happened last week will change the future of Tiana's, but it definitely changed the way that I started thinking about water attractions. And when something like this happens, it kind of makes you see things from a whole new perspective. Like, I didn't know that was possible, but now we do. Cannot wait to hear your thoughts in the comment section below on what you think the future of Tiana's would be, and also how do you feel about safety restrictions on water rides. Thank you so much for showing up. My name is Brickey. I appreciate you. I'll see you real soon. That part never gets old. Let's catch them.